Based on a true story, Maria, Henry, and their 3 sons take a much-needed holiday in Thailand.
Boys, come and see this.
Isn't it great?
But on the day after Christmas, a devastating tsunami strikes. Separated from each other and badly injured, the family must struggle to survive and reunite in the impossible.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Salim.
And I'm Liz.
And we're here to talk about The Impossible, starring Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor, and directed by J.A. Bayona. We've all just seen it. Is it impossible? Is it impossible to watch? Is
impossible to talk about. We should just end now.
Well, all right, we're done. Okay, that was easy enough.
Well, let me start by saying it's not impossible, but it is difficult to watch because it's a visceral experience. It's like watching a documentary of the world's worst tsunami disaster. You know, we have people getting cut with tree branches and then having to go through mud. You know, it's like all very front and center. And it's difficult to watch because of how well done it is.
But when you come down to it and you start to analyze the storyline and the performances, things like that, it's actually really sweet at the core of it.
Yeah,
even though it's so disturbing and so dark to watch and experience when you're sitting there in the theater.
I agree.
I mean, it's certainly intentionally this intense. It's purposefully done to put you in this experience of the tsunami in 2004. But I think with a lot of these pictures, it's a hopeful picture too. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
We have Ewan McGregor and Naomi Watts, and they are incredible.
Yes.
Naomi Watts is so brave. I just felt like she really got poked in the back of the leg with this stick, and she was really having to, you know, go through this. Oh, man.
And other than Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor, I feel like the movie really hinges on the performances of the children. And the movie might fail if you don't have really good people in their roles, especially the character of Lucas, who's played by Tom Holland, who's very good in the movie. And a lot of the movie's told from his point of view. So if that's not a successful performance, you're in trouble.
I was a brave kid. I'm scared.
I actually thought the writing was solid. The dialogue was very realistic, and it was witty. You know, from time to time, it was able to provide a little bit of levity.
There's a scene where Ewan McGregor has a breakdown, and you can't hear the words that are coming out of his mouth, and that was so great. It was like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to understand what he's saying, and that was realistic.
Yeah. Maria and Lucas are not here.
What do you mean, not there?
Well, she came and swept everyone away. And I found Thomas and Salim. Lucas up. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to look for them. Lots of people need to use this phone, okay? I was calling it.
I think it's really good in its smaller moments, too. I mean, here's a movie that starts out basically with this gigantic disaster that happens.
Lucas!
When it all comes down to it, it's about the individuals, and they have moments between people, and there's a little boy who gets reunited with his father. It's just one of those moments in the movie that I really appreciated that really brings the emotion to the forefront. If it was just all, we're going to show you a disaster, then it's not nearly as successful as this movie is.
We have this great character development, and that combined with the sweeping camera and the gorgeous special effects, it just really is very impactful. There's this one sequence where we basically relive one character's experience of when the tsunami hits. And it's shot in this very jarring, rhythmic way where it's almost like a music video. And I think this is the most extreme scene in the entire film, and it's really taking a chance because it's like the body of this character is pulsating to the music of the film, and it could almost be a little bit distasteful.
Yeah.
But it worked. Like, just even these chances visually that this film takes were really impressive.
The director is J.A. Bayona, and we know him from The Orphanage. Right. And I thought he did a phenomenal job. The production values, the acting, just everything that he was able to bring to this film and get from his actors.
We talk a lot about directing in terms of whether a film is cohesive or not, whether the elements fit together, and I think the elements very much fit together in
very
this
well.
film.
If I had a minor criticism about the movie, I think there's several coincidences that happen. This isn't probably the way it happened in real life. It definitely felt like it was created for this particular movie, but I can't deny that when those moments happened, they were extremely emotional.
This film served its purpose in bringing me into the tsunami and the aftermath, and I think the visuals did that, the acting, the story did that, but also that the soundscape. I mean, sound design was amazing in this film. Every little noise was there, and it just kind of transported you.
You actually feel submerged. I mean, there was a moment when the sound design was so well done that I really felt like I was in this disaster, and I couldn't hear anything because I had been, washed with this gigantic wave, and it's just it's very impressive.
It's often hard to look away, but because of that wonderfully visual experience, this true story really hits it home. See it.
I don't want to recommend that people run out and see this movie because it's pretty traumatizing and depressing, but it's effective and beautiful storytelling, and for that, it's a see it.
I agree. I mean, it's an intense movie, but I think with all pictures that deal with this kind of subject matter of life and death, there's actually some hopeful qualities to it. So I think it's a movie that's impossible to miss. Ooh. See it. Cheers. It could work for them because they were white. If they were Spanish, I could never buy this story.
Especially because it would be all in subtitles.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's this reading crap?
The film doesn't relent until the very end for me. It was really intense from the first shot, even from black before it began.